What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another spooky night video. Now, I want to start things off by saying a few things. First off, we are covered in snow yet again for the second weekend in a row. Right when I finished making the Saturday afternoon retro video, it was about seven something in the morning, like 7:45 in the morning. I opened the door to see what the weather conditions were like, and all of the ground that had cleared from the snow in the previous week was covered yet again, and it was snowing with like bigger visible snowflakes this time. So yeah, we are snowed in. Another thing I wanted to point out or mention is we have a packed video today. This spooky video, this spooky night is I'm gonna pack it full of some stuff because people. Well, I don't know if people still go out on Saturday nights, but it's just a little something to watch, something to keep you entertained. And a follow-up from last week. As you know, last week, I did I watched some videos of conspiracy theories. And I was suggested to watch a movie called Long Kiss Goodnight. And see how that tied into the 9/11 attack. That happened on September 11th. So I watched the whole movie. I liked the ending. I'm glad that it ended the way that it did. And I won't say anything like super spoilish. Well, I mean, it's not a new movie, so if you haven't seen it already, long story short, that's what I'll do. It may be some spoilers in there, but long story short, there was a lady who had a family and everything. It was chill, stuff was chill, but she had amnesia, and she had hired a private investigator to figure out about her past. That turned out to be her past turned out to be that she was an actual, not a spy, but an assassin for the United States government. More specifically, the CIA, because not even the president knew about this organization she was working for. And turns out when she finds out who she really was, all of her skills came back. Like her skills with a gun, her skills with a knife, and her skills in hand-to-hand combat. And she was a night and day person. Her personality was night and day, from before and after she figured out who she really was. And the reason she had amnesia in the first place was because one of her targets, she was supposed to kill a certain target, but she failed, and in the process ended up getting shot in the head. And she survived somehow, but it gave her amnesia. But after revisiting some things, she got her memory back, which gave her skills back and all that stuff. But it turns out this organization that is working for the CIA was they were planning a terrorist attack, believe it or not. They were planning a terrorist attack, and they had captured and killed a Muslim to plant the attack on. And basically the attack was they were going to put a bomb in an oil tanker in an 18-wheeler. And they were going to put the dead Muslim body in the driver's seat and drive it into a Christmas parade where the bomb is set to blow up and kill nearly 4,000 people. And one of the big, moments of that was the private detective, because the private eye and the the assassin. They got captured at one point, where the head of the organization with the CIA actually went and met them and was like, "Yeah, you guys are done for it now." And the private eye is like, "You mean to tell me you're gonna fake killing 4,000 people in order to get..." Basically, the motive behind this terrorist attack was the government was not funding the CIA. They were not funding their projects. So apparently the government was not seeing a reason to fund them because there was no serious threat. And so they decided to fabricate one in the form of a false terrorist attack. And the point of it is, once they see how severe the attack is, of course, the the people are gonna want revenge, which is gonna in turn force the government to say, "Hey, let's get some more spending over here so we can figure out who did this and get the ball rolling again." And so he's like, "You're gonna fake kill 4,000 people in order to get funding because of budget cuts?" And the guy goes, "Well, I don't know how to fake kill 4,000 people, so I guess I just have to do it for real." And they're like, "What?" So then it became, we got to stop the terrorist attack. And, but yeah. So, and they even mentioned, when the Twin Towers were bombed and how they blamed it on he said we blamed it on the Muslims or something like that. And so, yeah, the movie pretty much lays out what a lot of people were saying about the 9/11 attack back when it happened, which was that the government set that whole thing up so that they could, Now, the only piece of that puzzle I never got was the why. Because they kept saying, the president knew this attack was coming, his staff knew the attack was coming, and they let it happen just so they can use that as an excuse to go here and da-da-da. And my whole thing was like, okay, if all these people died, right, what was the reason that you would do this? And some answers were like his brother had oil companies that could benefit from the oil over there, and it was a lot of things. Like I said, if you want to follow up on that, I checked this morning. The video is still up. It's called Loose Change. It's about 2 hours long. But so yeah, that's a recap of the follow up research I did. The movie, I liked the way the movie ended. One thing I will say, again, I am never a fan of language. But of course, when you got Samuel L. Jackson in a movie that is not Marvel, you're going to get that, unfortunately. But I like the premise, and I like how it ended. So yeah, pretty decent. Now, we're going to start out with a horror short. It is called Clap Clap, and it is from Biscoric Films, I believe. So yeah, let's and before we check it out, another thing I will say is the only reason why I did not go further down that rabbit hole is because I have been all through all those tunnels. When it happened, as I mentioned in the previous video, I remember exactly where I was when we got the announcement that the Twin Towers were hit. You know what I'm saying? So I've already been up and down that rabbit hole in several debates and investigations and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down, though. So yeah, this one is called Clap Clap. I got me a couple of pieces of soft peppermint here. Let's get into it. And because this video, let me turn that down a little bit. That's kind of loud in my ear. But because this video's, I plan it to be kind of long. Well, I plan to do a lot of videos in it. I'm gonna try not to pause as much, but again, I'm gonna try not to pause as much. Put some socks on, bro. Thanks again for house sitting. Clap to turn on and off lights. Keep kitchen clean. Help yourself to the fridge. Money is in the envelope. Keep lights on at night. What? Keep lights on at night with this? My friend, you know what I would do? I would get on a phone call and I'd be like, hey, this would be my phone call right here. Hello, yeah, I was supposed to be house sitting for you until I, saw that last bit of a message down there. Keep the lights on at night with the smiley face. Not sure why that is, but don't worry, I didn't take your money. It's still in the refrigerator. I locked up before I left. I put the key in a specific spot. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want, I decided to keep it, actually. I decided to keep the key until you got back. Call me when you get back. I'll bring it back over to you. But I'm not staying there. All right? Peace. There was no rhythm there. I mean, there was no beat. What were you dancing to? First of all, I meant to ask, what is this house sitting? Like, so people will actually pay you to live in their home? I wonder how much. Hold on. Because I also have Copilot here to help me with, fact checking and database stuff and all like that. So let me ask you a question. How much money does a person make a year house sitting? $25,000 to $38,000 a year? Yeah, no. Nah, family. Uh-uh. That's gotta be something I do on the side, bro. Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're not paying any of the expenses and stuff, right? Like all the light bills and stuff is paid for. You just get money to stay there. It would depend on the house. Like if you got a good PC with good internet and some consoles and stuff, I wouldn't mind it. Again, and this is just a note. Like if I ever owned a house like this and I paid somebody to house sit in it, you must wear socks everywhere. Except when you're taking a bath. You must wear socks everywhere. I do not want your feet on anything in my house. Alright? Well, I don't even have my own feet on anything in my place. So your feet definitely can't be there. You gotta have some socks on, bro. And if you don't have any, I'll give you some. I will have a whole closet full of spare socks of multiple sizes for both men and women, so that when you come over, you can put some socks on. What's my issue with feet? Don't worry about that. Are those Skittles? You idiot. Now they know where you are. Bro, hit the light switch. If you think somebody has broken into your home and you know you heard footsteps, don't clap. Now they know exactly where to hide and pinpoint your exact location and take you out. Hit a light switch, bruh. Oh, nah. I was about to say, just start, every time you hear a clap, we'll start clapping. Like, I know this is. Hold on. Did he break his hip from that fall? Like, he just fell down. Like, it's over. Oh. Well, that was disgusting. And I'm telling you, bro, that would not have happened to me. That would not have happened to me. Not because I can box entities, but because I would not have been there. 28 grand a year is not worth that, bro. I'm sorry. If I'm not saying house sitting in general, but if you go to a person's house and they'd be like, if you go to a person's house for house sitting, right? And they're like, hey, everything is cool, help yourself to the fridge. Make sure you don't do this. Make sure you don't touch that. And before you go to bed at night, circle the bed with a layer of salt and you should be fine. Are you serious? No, I'm getting in my car. I don't care what we agreed on. You didn't tell me this before I agreed on it. So this is an outlying stipulation that makes this null and void for me, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, I only have one issue with this video, and that is that the man did nothing wrong. Right? He just, well, he lacks survivability instinct, but that's not something to kill someone over. You he should have known better. Keep the lights on? Nah. Even if you don't believe in entities or ghosts or demons or spirits or anything like that, if someone's house sitting instructions is keep the lights on at night, even if you didn't believe, you'd be like, nah, I'm out. But other than that, like, he did nothing. He didn't seem to do anything wrong. And I don't like when, like, people who are just living their everyday life and you just kill them off for no reason. But it is a horror short, so, pretty good, pretty good. All right, next video. All right, now this next video is from Alter, and it is called Here There Be Monsters. Now this kind of reminded me, the title anyway, kind of reminded me of a game from back in the day on Steam called Always Sometimes Monsters. And I wanted to play it, but I could not afford it at the time. So I don't even know if it's still there or not, but yeah. Let's jump into it. Here There Be Monsters. I sympathize with her already, because this brings me back to my childhood, and I don't know of a single child who wasn't bullied growing up. You know what I'm saying? But I experienced this mainly in the 6th grade. So this is bringing back some not so pleasant memories. And you want to know the worst part about it? Like, and I'll tell you about my situation. The worst part about it for me was people picked on me. But I knew if I knocked them out, I'm getting a whooping when I get home. You know what I'm saying? That was the worst part about it to me. Was that, yeah, they got to pick on me. But if I retaliated in any way, my parents would give me a whooping. And now that I look on it today, I understand why they behaved that way. I understand why they did that. But it still didn't make it feel any less, any better. But and I did the same thing this girl was doing. I just, ignored it for the most part. I think I'll just mention the worst of it that I ever got. And I'm not going to mention this teacher's name because it's very likely they're still alive. And it's not like I'm going to blow up to the point where, they'll see this video anyway. But when I was in middle school, we had classes in huts sometimes, right? They weren't attached to the school. And I had this one class where everyone except for my friends were picking on me. Some for my weight, some for being quiet and all this other stuff. And that one particular class, I had, well, let me see, it's one, two, three. There were three people in that class that I was friends with through comic books, cartoons, gaming, that type of thing. They did not laugh at any of the jokes, but everybody else in the class was cracking jokes on me at my expense. And when I looked up, because we were all looking at each other like, when is the class going to start? And I looked up, and our teacher was sitting at his desk with his face buried in a newspaper. And I could see his shoulders just hopping up and down where he's just cracked up at the jokes himself. And I kid you not, we spent the whole class just listening to them crack jokes on me. He did not bother to calm the class down or try to teach or anything like that. I think that was the worst bit of bullying I ever received in middle school. So yeah, this is bringing back some bad memories, indeed. Oh nah. 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 Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not a small person. So, none of them ever put their hands on me. And I guess for good reason. But mainly because they didn't know what I would do, right? But if someone ever stabbed me in the neck like that, that's a fight for your life type situation. Are you serious? Now at this point, you go to the bus driver and you tell the bus driver, hey, this person stabbed me in my neck with a pencil. And it's the bus driver then has to call the police and call 911. I mean, call 911, get the police and the ambulance. And you keep those two stupid little girls on that bus, and you make sure that the police get this information that they stabbed this girl in her neck with a pencil, with the lead part too. And that's funny to you, huh? I'm not gonna lie to you. My friends kind of did the same thing. They just sat there with their heads down. Some of them started reading books. Some of them started drawing. But it was not before, telling me not to worry about what the people were saying. And I'm going to be honest with you. It meant a lot to me for them to tell me, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about, whatnot. I never, put any fault on them for anything that happened to me. But this right here, I'm pretty sure if this had happened to me, they would have stepped in. Because I know I would have stepped in for them. This is really getting on my nerves. I might need to skip this video because it's giving me some, I won't say PTSD because it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious. As a matter of fact, the majority of the issues at my school were gang related. So, we were just trying to make sure not to get in the crossfire of the two gangs that were at war during my middle school and high school days. One thing I will not do is sit there, cry, and bleed. You're going to stop this bus and you're going to get me some medical attention. And trust me, I'm going to find out where you live. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find out where you live. And I'm not going to bring a stick. I'm not going to bring a blick. No. I'm going to call 911. I'm going to show them the picture of the hole in my neck. And best believe, I'm going to take this pencil from you. I'm going to show them the hole in my neck. And I'm going to make sure they either get you or your parents to pay my medical bills for stabbing me in my neck, bro. Now I know I keep pausing a lot, but like I said, you could tell if you could tell by just pausing, bro. Sometimes you just gotta die, right? And I'm gonna explain it. Sometimes you just gotta die. Like before you allow this, like if you gonna stand in front of me and take this nasty gum out of your mouth and stick it in my hair, before I let that happen, you're gonna have to beat me down first. You're gonna have to make that bus driver get off that bus and break us up first. I'm not gonna let you stick no gum and it's like I said, yes, they joked on me for my weight. They joked on me for my being passive. They joked on me for a lot of things, but they never put their hands on me. Oh my gosh, bro. Take the gum out your hair before it hardens and you have to cut those strands off. Take the Wait, what? What? I'm confused. First of all, why are you driving a bus to a danger keep out zone? First of all, second of all, how you start in the day? Where in the world do they live where your bus route starts in the day and ends at night? Like, oh wait a minute, that's not even a school bus. What? Well, yes it is. Yes it is. I was about to say you ain't. I have to say this too. I keep pausing. This is a shame. But I'm sorry. In case you haven't noticed, I think I've been triggered. But if I had those scissors in my backpack and she stabbed me in my neck, you better believe she'd have lost an eye. Because I'd have pulled them scissors out and I'd have just went flailing. And then, of course, they're going to play the victim. But the only unfortunate thing is I don't think there's any. This doesn't look like a time period where there's like security cameras on the bus. But I'll even tell you, like, when I rode the bus, and this is the main reason why, when I first got to high school, our bus was not necessarily crowded, but there was nowhere for me to sit, right? So, and our bus driver was a football coach, so he really did not care. He just get in, and this is how I explain it. He was like, if you're going to stand up, because he knew that the students would not. There were some students that was like, no, you can't sit next to me. You can't sit next to me. And so it was more than just me, but a couple of us freshmen, we had to stand up in the middle of the aisle. And rather than him getting up and being like, y'all move over and let these people sit down, he was like, look, When we get to the school, bend over so they can't see you standing up, or else I'm gonna get in trouble. So just stand in the aisle, and when we get to the school, bend over so you're not in the window. And we had to bend over in the middle of the aisle so that the school administrators would not see us standing up as the bus pulled up. Do buses really lock from the inside like that? I missed it. What did she see? It blended in so well. I was trying to find out what she saw. What did she see? And why hasn't her parents called the police and been like, "Hey, my daughter didn't come home. Uh, can you help us out here? My daughter didn't come home from the bus from school." What on earth? What is that? A minotaur? Why did you get up and run? It's a wrap. It might just be up for you. I ain't gonna hold you. I was about to say, you might want to climb, but it looks like there's barbed wire. You know, I'm not gonna hold you. That monster is actually significantly smaller than I thought. What in the world is that? My ears. What in the world is this? Yo, no cap. Like, where is everybody's survival instinct? You know what I'm saying? Like, we were always told don't go out at night. And we listened for the most part. You know what I'm saying? We were taught if something doesn't feel right, get out of there. And our parents knew that at some point we would awaken our human instinct. What is that, you may ask? Like, as a human, you can, like, you can sense. You know how sometimes some animals can sense when there's about to be a storm or an earthquake or something like that, and they'll start leaving the area. Well, we have that too, but it's like we can sense when something's not right. You know what I'm saying? And like if you sitting out here chilling, even animals do that, right? When they hear a stick crack, they don't even wait. Some of them don't even wait. As soon as they hear the stick crack, they're running in the opposite direction. Why would you try to look? And I get you may want to pinpoint because it may not be danger, but if it's not, they'll catch up. You'll be like, "Hey, yo, it's just me." But if it is, you at least got a head start. Start back towards the house, bro. And you just gonna keep smoking, huh? Oh! Alright, so here's my theory on this. Interestingly enough, this is like, I will say this. Well, no. Let me not say that. Here's my theory. My theory is that whatever that monster was, um, my theory is this girl sees most people as monsters, right? Because, of course, the two monsters that were bothering her that was sitting at the back of the bus. Then you got the kids in the middle who were just like, well, that's not right, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want it to happen to me. And then you had the bus driver who obviously knew something was up. If the kids that were sitting behind the bus driver knew she got stabbed, that bus driver had to know something. So no doubt the bus driver heard the somebody heard the horn beeping. And she just saw that person as a monster. But I believe it was an actual person. And when they cornered her in the fence, they were probably trying to tell her, look, at least give me your name, are you okay? This, that, and the third. And she just saw it as a monster, and she had the scissors in her hand. And she was, I think it was at that point she decided she was not going to be bullied anymore. And unfortunately, she became the very monster. She's another monster in the system now. Because and so I was gonna be like, why would she stab this random lady in the neck? But I think that's the girl on the bus that stabbed her with the pencil. And apparently she's got a rough time of it at home. Whoever that man is in there screaming and cursing and stuff. So she has a rough time of it at home, and she goes somewhere else and takes it out on someone else, thus creating a monster. And unfortunately for her, it ended up with a knife in a pair of scissors in the throat. Now, I will point this out though. This is not justified. This is not justified because she actually found this girl's house. You can see she was in the bushes. She stalked her. And then she retaliated for being stabbed in the neck with a pencil. Now, has she pulled them scissors out after being stabbed in the neck and started swinging? You could argue self-defense. But Here, here, she just that was just pre. Well, I don't know, it was premeditated, but it's definitely she. Well, and then there's this too because it's in America. She's probably not gonna go to prison. She's probably gonna go to juvie till she's 18 and then get a second chance. Unfortunate. Uh, but I guess I don't know. I could be wrong about my theory. But yeah, this one I guess you wouldn't really call this a horror movie though, a horror short, unless you consider it like it's horrible the fact that how often this happens, on a daily basis. All right, next video. Now this is a horror short by a channel called Matt Sears. Wait. Yeah, Matt Sears. And it's called The Hat Man. Let's check it out. Oh, it's called Olux? Never mind, it's called Zero Lux. And by the way, in case you wonder, like the Hat Man, as far as I understand, the Hat Man is an entity. It's a shadow person. He's one of the shadow people that is depicted as an old man in a suit with a top hat. Shadow people's another interesting little cryptid you can look, or a rabbit hole you can leap down. I mean, I know that's a lot of work, but the best thing to do is to go ahead and get started on it. Yeah. I noticed he got the same size box for every room. That's gonna be a lot of moving. Wait, why is he crying in the picture? A black bag, huh? You know what? We used to have a camera just like that, actually. What? That's like that's like the photo obscure. Yo, what?
Dad? Dad? It's Dad. Dad? Dad? Dad, I'm right here. Dad, it's okay. Can you hear me? Dad, look at me, please. Dad! Dad, no! Look at me! Please, look at me! Look at me! Please don't go again! Don't, no, don't leave me! Don't leave me again, please, Dad, please! Don't go, don't, stop! Stop! Please, don't take him, no! Get it out of him! Let go of him! Please, Dad!
Oh! Yo, that was actually pretty good. Olux, huh? That was actually pretty good. And that's actually a similar depiction of what people describe when they say they've seen the Hat Man. It's an old man with a suit and a top hat. That was actually really good. All right, next up. Disturbing videos found on the dark web. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't mess with the dark web, because I am not that tech savvy to where I can mask my IP address, and I know that there's some stuff on the dark web that should not be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So I stick away from that. But let's see what this is. It's only 12 seconds.
Disturbing videos found on dark web. Part 3.
Girl walking home chased by spirit running backwards. Okay.
Disturbing videos found on dark.
I'm sorry, but that is cap. And I can tell you exactly how I know this is cap. First of all, I don't know if you got to be familiar with the back rooms. If you've seen some of these, if you've seen a couple of videos on my channel, I'm pretty sure I mentioned the back rooms at some point. But I've seen a TikTok video like this where they used the back rooms video where the guy is stuck in the endless grocery store, running from that like entity with the television in as a head, and they were saying that this dude actually got stuck in an alternate reality, You know what I'm saying? And he can't get out. And I'm like, dude, that's actually a created video. It's not even real. This is also not real. Now, not real in the sense that the area isn't real. I will be right back. I want to show you guys something. But before I do that, look at this. Look at this area. You know what I'm saying? And you see that, right? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to show you something that I seen several years ago. All right. And this is another reason why I don't really rock with TikTok videos, because they're mostly done by the current generation, and the current generation just does not do research. You know what I'm saying? They do not do research. I'll be right back. All right, so this next video is called True Horror Stories Midnight Jog POV. Now, this True Horror Stories POV channel, I've seen them from, how long ago is this? 5 years ago? Yeah, I've been watching them for years. Basically, they do horror shorts, but the POV is like the person who's actually in the horror movie. For example, The Other Side of the Box, right? They would shoot that, whereas as if you're looking out of the eyes of the guy who's running from the monsters, you know. So they do like FPS point of view horror shorts. And this one is called Midnight Jog. Now, I will say this. I do have CC on, closed caption on, but for some reason, the words do not come up. I'm not sure why. But to give you a premise, it's only a 3-minute video. To give you a premise, this girl goes out jogging at night in Japan, and something paranormal happens. Check it out.
Selalu ramai. Nari kosong pula. Accident apa?
So at this point, she's like, yo, is there like a military troop jogging behind me or something? Like, isn't this guy just past me?
Empty pasal.
And now he's gone. And now she's like, wait a minute.
Sama orang?
And see, this is why I say it's real, but it's not. I mean, it's not real, but it is. Like, the skill this guy had to have to run backwards like that is crazy. Like, look at that. And I first saw this, shout out to the Shogun. I first saw this video on Corey X Kenshin's channel when he did a Spooky Scary Sunday. But look at this. So now she getting in the wind, she running back home, which is what most horror people should do, you know? I mean, she getting in the wind too. Oh nah. Go, go, go. See anything familiar? See anything familiar?
Bismillah.
So that was called The Midnight Jog, created by True Horror Story POV. Now, they're not saying these are true stories. They're saying this is like true horror. As in, I mean, and you just imagine you going out for a jog at night, all of a sudden, the same guy passes you 3 times. And then on the 3rd time, he stops and starts running at you backwards. You know, you're going to be like, wait a minute now. You know what I'm saying? But this just goes to show, though. This goes to show that, and this is, again, people will take clips of stuff as that is one thing and say it's another. And they know that most people nowadays don't do research. They just look at something and believe it. And because of that, they're able to take stuff that people did for entertainment back in the day and try to pass it off as real. Like, this is a real ghost encounter. No, it was a horror short. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're moving on. All right, now this next video that's up. This video is called The Coat Maker. It is by Alter. Now, I am going into this expecting something similar to The Doll Maker. All right. I hope I'm not disappointed, but given how good The Doll Maker was, I'm expecting The Coat Maker to be something really good too. But my expectations could be too high. I don't know. Let's see. Who knows? The Doll Maker may have gotten its idea from this video. Let's check it out. You know, I was just about to ask, why is it saying low battery, but you don't have it charged up, my boy? By the way, the audio, I'm not doing anything to the audio. That's doing it on its own. Why are you looking like that, bro? Bro, kick that mannequin over. Now, this one, again, I don't understand. I guess I don't get this type of horror where the dude's making a coat. That's all he's doing is making a coat. He's not calling any demonic entities. He's not, being an idiot. He's not being mean. He's just making a coat. He got a message from his wife saying, don't forget your son's final basketball game or whatnot. And he's like, okay, well, I gotta go. And all of a sudden, the mannequin just comes to life and kills him. Why? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Alright, next video. Alright, now I watch a lot of this dude's videos. This is Slapped Ham, if you didn't know. And he's got a video called Truly Strange Things Caught on Camera. So yeah, we're going to watch this, and I'll be the judge of if it's truly strange or not. Let's get into it.
How you doing? I'm Callan, and this is Slapped Ham. You're about to see some of the scariest video clips that are trending on socials right now. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this.
Guys, this girl keeps repeating the same thing over and over. She's going to get out of her car. Watch her.
First up on this list, we've got a truly strange video that was posted by Meta Cowboy over on TikTok. Take a look.
Guys, this girl keeps repeating the same thing over and over. She's going to get out of her car. Watch her. She's done this 3 times. She's going to get out of her car. She's going to walk around the front. She's going to go get in.
The woman seems to be repeating her movements over and over again.
This is super creepy. I don't know if it's like a glitch or what. Now she's going to get out, and she's going to walk around the back of the car. Okay? She's going to walk around the back of the car, and then she's going to get in. She's done this 3 times.
However, the strangeness doesn't end there. The woman leaves the parking lot, heads over to the freeway, and returns about 5 minutes later.
The first 2 times, I'm like, what is going on? Now she's going to go, and she's going to go to the highway over there.
This is a pattern the cameraman says he's witnessed over 3 times already.
She does it every 10 minutes. I'm just sitting in the parking lot. Now she's going to look to the right, and then she's going to go.
In the second video, the cameraman now seems to be recording from inside of the store. However, just like before, the woman repeats the exact same process over and over again.
There the girl is again, just to prove to you guys that I wasn't crazy. Watch, she's going to get out. She's going to walk around the car, sit in the other side. She's stuck in the same pattern. She's done this 5 or 6 times.
While the uploader suggested that the woman might have been stuck in the Matrix, many viewers thought she was exhibiting behaviour indicative of obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD. OCD is a mental health condition characterised by intrusive, unwanted thoughts and repetitive behaviours or mental acts. These obsessions and compulsions can significantly interfere with daily functioning and cause distress to the sufferer. If the woman is indeed suffering from OCD, the repetitive nature of her actions, as captured in this video, highlight just how deeply OCD can impact a person's life. This glimpse into her routine serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by those living with this condition.
Have you ever thought about this though? Look at this.
The repetitive nature of her actions, as captured in this video, highlight just how
It did
deeply
not pause, but
nature of her actions, as captured in this video,
right there, she took one look at him directly at the camera,
highlight
and then she's looking directly at the camera again.
just how deeply
Here's my theory. He knows this lady. They're either in a relationship or they're just trying to create content for this space in social media. I'm willing to bet money that she actually isn't doing this
CD
as
can
many
impact
times
a
as he
person's
mentioned.
life. This glimpse into her routine serves as a reminder of the challenges
My theory, and I will say this too. When I used to go to work back in the day, there was a guy in the plaza, right, who he would walk forward and then he would walk backwards the exact same distance and then walk forward again and keep going where he's going. When he crossed the street, he would cross the street over into our plaza where our store was. And then he would walk backwards, back across the street. And then he would walk forwards across the street again. Then he would go into the store. He would shop. He would buy something. He would say his goodbyes. And then he would head down towards another store. And he would walk all the way to that store. Then walk backwards back to our store. And then walk all the way back to that store again. So this is not, even if this is real, it's not something new. It's just, yeah, it could be compulsive. But my theory is it's more likely they're both trying to create some content. And first of all, why are you standing at this Burger King? He says she's been doing this for 10 minutes. He's sitting in the Burger King parking lot for 10 minutes, waiting for her to drive on the highway and then drive all the way back. Nah, I don't think that's the case. And again, this is another issue with people just, in my opinion, you can never just take somebody's word for anything. Like, they're going to have to prove it to me, like, with evidence. I'm not just going to take your word for it.
In a bizarre picture uploaded to the TikTok account Glitch in the Matrix, we see a rather creepy image captured by a Ring security camera. At a little over 8:30 PM, the camera took this image, which at first seems rather mundane. However, the camera's owner notes that the two people in the picture are actually both him. Some commenters were quick to suggest that the camera might be showing a glitch in the Matrix. Others thought it might have captured this man's doppelganger. While the image is probably just a glitch, the man was likely spooked when he initially checked the footage. I'm not sure what's creepier, checking your security camera and noticing two of yourself, or seeing a person standing just behind you that you don't recognize.
I can tell you now it's not a doppelganger. Okay? If it was a doppelganger, you would have known. I can guarantee you that. You would know when you see a doppelganger. That's all I'll say on that, is you'll know when you see a doppelganger. First off. Second off, this is obviously a glitch. Or like a, and I won't even go as far as to say it. I will even go as far as to say it was probably created. Like, you can crop anything in the images now. So you're not just going to show me a still image and say, oh, look, this is my doppel. Nah.
Recently, a spate of videos have appeared online that purportedly show faces near the moon. Some leave a lot to the imagination and most likely can be dismissed as pareidolia. However, there is one that's gone viral for its eerie clarity.
There he is. It's a huge face, looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is.
The clip, posted to TikTok by Incognito Gaming TV, was supposedly captured on the 29th of Feb 2024 at 11 past 1 in the morning. The camera holder notes he's been seeing this thing for a while and now finally has a better camera to capture it. He zooms in, and sure enough, there appears to be a large ominous face right next to the moon.
It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is.
You don't even need to do research to tell this is fake. Alright. First of all, if there was a face that big near the moon, you would see it regardless of whether you zoomed in or not. That's the first of all the matter. Second of all, there's no camera that can zoom in that close to the moon. No cell phone camera anyway. But you would be able to see this. Like, why is it, if you notice, the light only reflects on this guy's face. Look, as you can see here, the guy's nowhere to be seen. If this is true light from the moon, it would be reflecting off of the face
Ominous.
from that distance.
There he is. There he is. There he
This
is.
is obviously fake. And you don't need no research. You don't need no research to determine that.
There he is.
Many people who have seen the clip believe it could be a sign of Project Bluebeam, a conspiracy theory that suggests NASA and the United Nations are planning to implement a new world order through advanced technology and psychological manipulation. Proponents of this theory claim that a staged alien invasion or a simulated second coming of Christ will be projected into the sky using holographic technology to unify all nations under a single global government. Despite its popularity among conspiracy theorists, there's no credible evidence to support the existence or feasibility of Project Bluebeam. However, the theory continues to spark debate and curiosity across various online communities. While the video has received millions of views, many people think it's nothing but a hoax. In this video,
It's obviously a hoax.
by It's Kibitza Mo King, we see how one might be able to create the same illusion. The video proposes that the moon might simply be a car's headlight illuminating the head of some sort of statue.
Do you think? Okay. Again, you don't need research, bro. Like, look at the size of the head compared to the moon that supposedly is illuminating it. If there was something that big out in space, we would have seen it.
So what do you think? Does this video really show an eerie, oversized face by the moon? Or is it just a use of perspective and deception? Watch the clip one more time and let me know where you land on this curious story down below.
Obviously fake.
This next piece of bizarre footage was supposedly captured on a surveillance camera. It shows a woman walking with her daughter down the street. There's a cat following closely behind. But watch what happens next. It's almost as if the cat was pushed by some sort of unseen force. Luckily, the cat, using its agility, manages to land back on its feet without harm. However, for a split second, the animal's perplexed look suggests it's unsure about what just happened. The woman must hear the cat just behind her because she turns to look, but unfortunately misses the strange flip.
No.
The animal's behaviour has been explained as everything from a glitch in the Matrix to a push by a ghost. However, some believe the cat was just startled by the car that's approaching behind them. So what do you think caused this cat's sudden and strange movement? Was it something supernatural, or did the cat just get a fright? Let me know your take on this one down below.
Well, I will say this. If you go back and look at it, you would notice the lady did not look back at the cat when it flipped over. She looked back at the car.
But watch what happens next.
He keeps zooming out. Zooming in. See? If she were looking back at the cat, her head would be looking down. She's looking at the car. No doubt this car beeped at them. And she turned around to see who it was. And apparently the beep must have startled the cat. That's the most obvious explanation there.
Let me know your take on this one down below. Trail and game cameras, commonly used by hunters and wildlife enthusiasts, often capture more than just the routine movements of deer and other forest creatures. Among the strange captures are unidentifiable animal-like figures, bizarre moving shapes, or what some claim to be apparitions of people. This next unnerving image, captured on a game camera, was posted by Bully Mac to the Chilling Scary Facebook page. To make the picture even more eerie, the poster notes it was captured late at night and in the middle of winter. The image shows what appears to be a humanoid figure standing side on. One viewer, who brightened the picture for clarity, thought it looked like an apparition wearing a poncho or cape. Unfortunately, there's no information on where this image was actually captured. So what do you think it's showing? Could it be a wandering spirit, or is there another explanation for what we're seeing here?
Why does it have to be an apparition? Why couldn't it be a forest ranger in a raincoat, just surveying the area? Why does it have to be an apparition?
In this spine-chilling video shared to our Slaptam subreddit by user SaturdayEst84, viewers see what might be paranormal activity captured by a security camera.
The paranormal, eh?
The footage, initially showing what looks like innocuous dust or smoke, takes a mysterious turn at the 35-second mark. There's a ghostly looking shape moving across the screen from right to left. The poster from Pangasinan, Philippines hints at a possibly supernatural explanation, mentioning local lore about a girl in a white dress seen wandering the area. Many locals believe she wanders near old fortune trees, one that used to stand right near where this camera is placed. These trees, perceived by some as a portal, have since been replaced by smaller plants, yet the eerie sightings seem to continue. This video not only captures what could be a ghostly apparition, but also ties into the local folklore, adding a layer of intrigue and mystery to the viewer's experience.
You gotta be kidding me. That one doesn't need explanation.
Before we take a look at a chilling sighting in the skies of Ukraine, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary and creepy videos. In a video posted to Facebook by Louis Andre Jasperson Revere, we see a mysterious ring hovering in the skies over Ukraine back in 2020. This phenomenon stirred considerable discussion and speculation about its origins, with some questioning if it could be extraterrestrial. In recent years, sightings of these mysterious rings have appeared all over the world. In October 2021, a similar event over the Hudson River in New York caused unease among onlookers. However, initial guesses on social media, including speculations of birds, were quickly debunked, as the formation persisted longer than what would be typical for bird movements. The true explanation for the Hudson River phenomenon, as later clarified, was linked to a local air show at the old Rhinebeck Aerodrome. During the show, a theatrical explosion designed to simulate a World War I scene produced a smoke ring. Ideal weather conditions allowed this smoke ring to linger unusually long, creating the striking visual observed by many. In August 2023, a similar black smoke ring was seen floating over Tanjong Beach in Sentosa, Singapore. The phenomenon, captured by Narudin Salamat and shared on TikTok, quickly went viral, amassing over 17,000 views. Initially puzzled, many speculated about its origins. However, the source of the smoke ring was soon clarified by a spokesman from the Mount Faber Leisure Group, who explained that it was a result of a routine testing of the flame generators used in the Wings of Time show. This popular Sentosa attraction is known for its spectacular combination of laser, fire, and water effects, and the testing was conducted a safe distance from public areas, adhering to all safety procedures. Weather and climate scientist Dr. Ko Tae-yong provided further insight by explaining that the smoke ring was what was known as a vortex ring. This type of phenomenon occurs when a pulse of hot air shoots upwards into a stable atmosphere, forming a circular edge as it rises upward. The smoke particles injected into the air during the testing become trapped within the vortex, making the ring visible until it eventually dissipates due to dilution and higher level of wind disrupting its structure. So does this explain the mysterious ring seen over Ukraine back in 2020? These events highlight how natural and human-made phenomena can often appear mysterious or otherworldly, fueling speculation and wonder.
Yeah, I think that's obviously what happened. There's no other explanation for that either. Alright, cool. I feel like I explained each of these incidents, or the majority of them. I gave plausible explanations or logical explanations for them that would be more believable than the paranormal. You know? All right, next video. All right, so again, I did say this video was going to be packed with some stuff, right? Mainly because I want to get a good one out there for the snowed in. This one is called Hollywood Star Whackers by Exposing Truth channel. Now, the reason I picked Star Whackers for this one is because that's another rabbit hole. That's another humongous rabbit hole that I went down several years ago, where the theory is that Hollywood has this organization that will because it stemmed from Hollywood cloning celebrities, right? And so the theory is that whenever a celebrity gets out of line to the point where Hollywood can't control them anymore, they bring out Star Whackers to have them mysteriously either commit suicide or be found dead in their apartment. So let's check it out. And these people are supposedly called Star Whackers.
When it comes to strange deaths and cover-ups, no place is more notorious than Hollywood. In 2008, Randy Quaid was ridiculed by the media when he claimed many of his famous colleagues who died tragically, including Heath Ledger and David Carradine, were actually murdered by a shadowy group he referred to as Star Whackers.
I believe these actors were whacked.
Now, after some of the shocking revelations coming out of Hollywood, he doesn't sound so crazy after all. What famous figures may have been their victim? It's time to take a closer look at the dark side of the entertainment industry, a place where dreams are made, fortunes are lost, and murder is just a phone call away. At a hotel lobby in Vancouver, reporters gathered for a press conference by Randy Quaid and his attorney had no idea what to expect. They assumed the actor would offer some explanation to his recent legal troubles, and perhaps why he was now claiming refugee status in Canada. What they got was a nefarious plot worthy of its own thriller. The noticeably shaken actor revealed a system of what he called star whackers, who off celebrities for the mafia-esque Hollywood elite. Among the alleged victims were Heath Ledger, David Carradine, and more. Furthermore, he claimed he and his wife were being targeted.
Now, I'm not sure how Heath Ledger died. Actually, you know what? Co-pilot. How did Heath Ledger die? I probably spelled his name wrong, but still. Heath Ledger died on January 22, 2008 in New York City from an accidental overdose of prescription medication. His death was ruled accidental acute intoxication. Interesting. Because I do know that this guy here was found in a closet in one of his private homes. He was found dead. So that fits the MO so far.
We believe there to be a malignant tumor of star whackers in Hollywood. How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine, and others.
They follow us, they tail us, tag our cell phone, they hack our computer, Mr. Quaid said. The press, aided by some of his loony roles, portrayed Quaid as crazy, a popular jibe used by the mainstream media when they want to dismiss someone. Now, a decade later, he isn't sounding so crazy anymore. Over the last couple of years, the unwitting public has discovered many of the celebrities they idolized were either active participants or complicit in some of the most heinous abuses. Harvey Weinstein repeatedly threatened to murder his victims and their families. Maybe Quaid was right all along. So what about Heath Ledger and David Carradine? And who might be the other victims of these star whackers? January 22nd, 2008, a masseuse entered Heath Ledger's hotel room. It was a routine she was already used to. But this time, nothing could prepare her for what she was about to discover. The A-list star was sprawled across the bed, unresponsive. There, beside his naked, lifeless body, were prescription pill bottles. The masseuse's neck...
Why you gotta mention naked, bro? That's completely irrelevant.
Next move, however, was not to call 911, the police, or the hotel, but none other than Mary-Kate Olsen.
What? Now, the Olsen twins, they were the stuff back in the day, bro. I forgot I know they were on, I think it was Full House, where it was one girl that both of them played, one little girl that both of them played, but then they had their own TV show. Why did they call Ashley Olsen?
Who she apparently had on speed dial. After not one but 2 calls to the A-list child star, Olsen sent her personal security team over to the room. It wasn't until after the security team assessed the situation that authorities were finally called.
Now, so you may be wondering, like, why is this creepy? This is odd, true, but why is this creepy, you may ask? Can you just imagine, put yourself in that situation? Let's say LeBron James. Let's say LeBron James was expected to do a meet and greet or make a wish with you, right? Well, not you, with your sibling who's sick, right? And y'all was supposed to meet up at this one one neutral area. You get there and you find LeBron James on his back, unconscious, and you don't know what's going on, but you know he's not breathing. First thing you do is call your mom, right? Yeah, Mom, I found him. And your mom is like, well, hold on for a minute. Let me get your uncle and go over there. Your uncle comes over there, looks at the situation. Yeah, this is bad. But go ahead and call the police. Them detectives are going to rake you, your uncle, and your mom over the coals. They're going to suspect you until they find otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So the creepy thing about this is how much power do you have to be able to mess up a scene this badly and not get in trouble with the law at all?
The masseuse's story reportedly changed several times, and another little tidbit curiously left out of the mainstream reports is how the masseuse got into Ledger's room in the first place. Most hotel doors lock automatically. When questioned concerning her part in the incident, Mary Kate would not comment, unless police granted her immunity from prosecution. Equally strange is the bizarre film he was working on at the time, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is full of occult and Masonic symbolism. Troubling production photos from the film show Ledger hanging from a noose with an Illuminati pyramid painted across his forehead. Had the 28-year-old already been marked for death? There are simply too many irregularities and strange coincidences swirling around this case.
Hold on.
Kung Fu star.
An autopsy of actor Heath Ledger was performed on Wednesday morning, but the results are inconclusive, according to Ellen Burkove, a spokeswoman for New York City's chief medical examiner. So let me get this straight. The masseuse calls Mary Kate Olsen and says Heath Ledger is unconscious, not breathing, in a room where he was supposed to get a massage, right? And Mary Kate says, well, let me get if this is to be believed, she goes, let me get my security to go over there and check it out. Security goes over there, assess the whole situation. There's no telling what they could have changed or what they could have done to the scene. And when the police come, she goes, well, I won't tell you anything that I know unless I have immunity. Now, that's where the creep factor comes into this, because you tell me in what way can a regular private citizen do something like this and get the same treatment, get to make the same ultimatums, get to make the same deals. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I was not aware. I know he had passed away, but I was not aware of how or that it was this sketchy. Like, if this is to be believed, I haven't done any research on this, so I can't say whether or not it's true. But if this is to be believed, if this is true, a lot of people should be locked up, not even for if he actually was killed, but for the stuff they did prior to. Like, what is it, tampering with evidence? Or something like that?
Kung Fu star David Carradine's body was found hanging in the closet of his Bangkok hotel suite on June 4th, 2009. The 72-year-old martial artist, who had starred in both Kill Bill films, was in Thailand working on his latest film. Upon closer inspection, many aspects of Carradine's death do not add up. So much so that his wife and brother believe the Kung Fu star was actually murdered.
I looked and I realized he had ligature marks on his neck that were about 3 inches wide and basically ear to ear, and basically, he almost got his head cut off, is what I'm saying. And to me, I just did the math and I added it up right there. I mean, I said, well, you don't do this to yourself. In the closet, all 5'6" of me, I could not fit in that closet standing up. Second of all, 5-star hotel, well.
I got some calls from Thailand today from a producer that worked with him. I don't want to get into the middle of this whole investigation, but this guy said to me for sure there was foul play. And the actor's lawyer, Vicky Roberts, said, I believe there may have been foul play, but Thai police have insisted that nobody else was involved. How would the police know that? That's what make these type of things fishy or sketchy, right? Is that if you were not there, if he was found in his closet, hung, right? How can you say there was no one else involved? You can't possibly know that 100% sure. But for you to insist that nobody else was involved, it looks weird. It looks weird.
Well, it was pretty flimsy in the closet because you know the wardrobe bar? Is that what it's called? The bar that goes across? It was literally cheap aluminum. I could snap it with my fingers. So the idea of him hanging his 6-foot plus, 200 plus pound frame didn't wash with me right from the get, just by investigating my room.
What many do not know is that Carradine actually comes from one of these elite Luciferian families. His father was John Carradine, a well-known member of a satanic cult known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, or the OTO. The OTO conducts high-level Illuminati sex magic rituals. But the OTO isn't the only Luciferian cult David's father belonged to. John Carradine was identified by Gregory Mank, author of the book Hollywood's Fire Club, as a member of a group called the Bundy Drive Boys that engaged in satanic practices, including incest, rape, and cannibalism. So David Carradine was no stranger to this sick world. He was raised in it. But it was a notorious incident at a rock star's funeral that showed the world how angered Carradine was by this evil system and marked him as a loose cannon. Dave McGowan released the book Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon. In it, he writes about a bizarre incident that occurred at the open casket memorial for the bird singer Gene Clark. According to witnesses, Carradine walked up to the casket, grabbed the deceased rocker by the lapels, and yanked his body out of the coffin. I won't read the line Carradine yelled on here because it would increase censorship, but you can read the excerpt from the book yourself. Carradine was knocking on the door of Hollywood's biggest and worst secret, the systematic abuse of children. Supposedly, Carradine was doing research of his own into the OTO and other Illuminati secret societies. Jerry Penacoli said on the Larry King Show the actor was, quote, very interested in investigating and disclosing secret societies. Was Carradine eliminated by the notorious Starwhackers? Many of his family members and former colleagues believe so. His widow sued the film company, claiming an assistant who was supposed to help Carradine navigate the city abandoned him the night before he was found. Another suspicious element surrounding celebrity deaths is the financial motive. How do celebrities become worth more dead than alive? Unlike most people, entertainers earn money.
I was just about to mention Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson died or was found dead, because there's some people who still believe that he's alive today, just hiding under a different alias. And back at that time when I had seen this theory, I was like, well, in that case, you guys should shut up. You know, because they kept putting up all this evidence of Michael Jackson calling his family members and close friends, saying there were people trying to kill him. You know? And then they were like, okay, we got proof. And they had found some guy in Canada who walks around with top-notch security, and he has an umbrella that he uses when he goes out in the day. And they had video evidence of it and everything. And I was like, well, in that case, you guys should really shut your mouths, because if he is still alive, whoever was trying to kill him will eventually find him following you guys' trail. But supposedly everything went down here for him after he won all the rights to his music from Sony. That's the going theory anyway. That's the going rabbit hole. Was he won a case against Sony to get all the rights to his music, and you know, the movie and music industry, when they figure out that you can't be controlled, they look to replace you, and they don't just let you go. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the going theory. They don't just let you go.
Works. When the entertainer dies, the producers and corporations who also own part of those works see their profits increase dramatically. But that isn't the only way Hollywood fat cats and big studios get rich off of celebrity deaths. Once the artist is dead, companies get to capitalize off their work in ways they could never while the artist was still alive, like unreleased songs, greatest hits albums, and box sets. What many don't know is that production companies take out hefty life insurance policies on their stars. At this point, a star whacker's job isn't about protecting Illuminati secrets or sacrifice, but cold, hard cash. But by far the strangest celebrity death on this list is that of Brittany Murphy. The talented former A-lister had starred in classics such as Clueless, 8 Mile, and Happy Feet. On December 20th, 2009, the world was stunned to learn the 32-year-old dropped dead in her Los Angeles home. But if that wasn't puzzling enough, the circumstances were about to get much more bizarre. Within months, her husband would also be dead, supposedly of the same mysterious illness. What are the odds that two relatively healthy young adults would die within months of each other of the same cause?
You know, I've always wondered about Hollywood and most celebrities is why they don't take on the last name. I guess it's not mandatory, right? But you got all these people that are married, but it goes to further support the theory that Hollywood marriages are like for show only and for entertainment purposes, because they always keep their own names. Like, I've seen celebrities where they each keep their own last name, and it's just like you never. I guess those of us who, you know, are for traditional marriage, I won't even say that. I'll say me, because of the way I look at marriage. It's someone they both got the same last name, but it's never the case with Hollywood for some reason.
In the ordinary world, such an unlikely coincidence would simply be too bizarre and spark further investigation. But Hollywood isn't an ordinary world. Far from it. The coroner eventually ruled her cause.
By the way, another rabbit hole you can jump down is the actual wood known as Hollywood that people claim is what witches use for their brooms and staffs and stuff like that. And that's like why they believe that Hollywood itself is demonic.
Of death to be pneumonia and anemia. The press ran with the angle that Murphy's death was drug-related. But Murphy's father believes there was a more sinister motive behind his daughter's death. He had a private analysis performed which showed levels of toxic metal that were 10 times those considered safe. Such heavy metals are found in household rat poison, leading her father and others to believe Brittany was poisoned.
Well, the toxicology reports and everything sounds very, very, very more or less suspicious. And I feel she was poisoned. There's no question about that. And I feel she was murdered. Well, I don't suspect anyone. Actually, I do really, but I'd rather not speak about that.
But who would want the actress dead? Deeper research reveals that Murphy had run afoul of the U.S. government by coming to the aid of a stunt double friend of hers who was a Department of Homeland Security whistleblower. There is also strong evidence that Murphy was one of Hollywood's many MK Ultra victims. or, at the least, a highly dissociative personality. Many believe her shady husband, Simon Monjack, was really her handler. Monjack is alleged to be a con man with a less than sunny past. Sharon Murphy, Brittany's mom and the only living survivor of this situation, admitted to the LA coroner that she had been sharing a bed with her son-in-law, Simon Monjack, up until the time of his death.
What?
Told you it was going to get weird. It would appear that in the case of Brittany Murphy, as with anything else in Tinseltown, nothing is what it seems. There are some creepy coincidences surrounding many of these celebrity deaths. David Carradine played Bill in the Kill Bill movies. Heath Ledger's final film depicted him dying covered in Illuminati symbols. Could these deaths have been Illuminati sacrifices done at the hands of the notorious Hollywood star whackers? Are some stars risen to fame in order to later be sacrificed in a form of mega ritual? Researchers say yes, and point to the many odd and mysterious deaths of those in the entertainment industry. So was Quaid right about Hollywood star whackers? Quaid is a Hollywood veteran of over...
Alright, so I will say this. There are a lot of celebrities who passed away in weird ways or under weird circumstances. And conveniently enough, there hasn't been any evidence that I could find or that I saw. I wasn't necessarily looking. But out of the stuff that I saw in regards to him, there's not enough evidence to point to a particular person or group. Except to say, something weird be going down up in Hollywood, bro. Alright. Alright, so this is a horror short by Matt Sears again. And this one is called... This one's award winning though. And it's called I Heard It Too. Let's check it out.
Time for beddy, guys, I think. Had a long day, haven't you? No sleepy. Night, night, honey. I love you lots and lots.
My bedtime song.
Aren't you getting too big for me to sing you to sleep?
No.
Okay. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird won't sing, Papa's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring turns brass, Papa's gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Papa's gonna buy you a billy goat. And if that billy goat won't pull, Papa's gonna buy you a cart and a bull. And if that cart and bull fall down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town.
Do you miss Daddy?
Yes.
Me too.
I know. And I'm sure he misses us both too. Now, go to sleep. I love you.
I love you too.
So just off the bat, I have to ask, why would the father buy his little girl a diamond ring? What would a little kid do with a diamond ring?
Bethany. Bethany. Bethany.
Mommy?
Bethany, come quickly, I need to speak to you. You're not in trouble, I promise. I just want to show you something.
Bethany, come on, honey. Bethany? I'm downstairs.
Bethany. Bethany.
Oh!
I heard it too.
Wait, I heard it too.
Who is it?
I don't know. But it's okay, they'll be gone soon.
Mommy, I'm scared.
I know. It's okay.
What? It's a mimic?
Please, not now.
Bethany? Where are you? I'm waiting.
Just because see who it is.
Shut up!
No. It's okay, we'll wait. They'll go soon.
Bethany, are you hiding from me? Do not make me come and find you. I won't be happy.
Shh. Don't say anything.
Fine. Ready or not, here I come.
Quickly, hide in here.
What should I get him to do, Mommy?
Just hide, quick.
You gave up your hand, no. No, shut the door and go back out. I mean, back in.
Bethany! Bethany! Bethany, where are you? Bethany, where are you?
Oh my god, Bethany, are you okay? It's okay, there's no one there.
Mommy, I saw her.
Where is she?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mommy?
She sold her mom. Why wouldn't you tell her it was right behind you?
Mommy? Mommy?
Bethany! Bethany! Come here, into your room. Remember, honey? Just count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh no. That was actually good. That was actually good. I heard it too, huh? And interestingly enough, that is a mimic. However, the weird thing about it is a mimic usually can't go into your premises unless they're invited in. Like, you have to actually let them in for them to be able to like go into your house and stuff like that. And another thing too, they didn't, well, actually no, the girl did respond, didn't she? She went out the door. She went out of her room looking for the mimic, but I don't think that's enough to give them permission to go in. Like, usually with the mimic, it's kind of like the black-eyed kids. You know, you have to actually let them in before they can actually wreak some havoc on you. So, which is different from a doppelganger, because a doppelganger will get your attention regardless of where you are. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a crowd full of 1,000 people. You will eventually feel something, and you will start looking for it. And when you find it, you will lock eyes, and your doppelganger will be staring at you. And then the moment you like realize, okay, this is me looking at myself, and you start to go try to get closer to it, it will go away. It will vanish. And the only thing I've ever known about doppelgangers is that they're just harbingers. You know. All right, I think I got one more video. I know this has been pretty long, but I got one more video. Let's jump to it. Now this is from Most Amazing Top 10, and this is real parallel universes captured on camera that scientists can't explain. So scientists may not be able to explain them, but who knows? I might be able to. Let's jump into it.
Time travelers, double suns in the sky, and colliding worlds, these are real parallel universes captured on camera that scientists can't explain. One of the strangest phenomena caught in camera is the double sun effect. Basically, people have filmed what looks like two suns in the sky, and while this could be an optical illusion, some people think there could be something else going on. That what we're actually seeing is a glimpse into a parallel universe or an alternate reality. Jim Kaller, an astronomer at the University of Illinois, explains that the double sun is likely an optical refraction, but he calls it a, quote, pretty darn rare one, and admits that it's not fully explained by science, saying, I doubt it's been computer modeled. There must have been some blob of atmosphere somewhere that caused this truly spectacular phenomenon, which in a sense is a mirage, end quote. Now, typically mirages happen when particles in the air bend light, but they're usually vertically aligned with the light source, not side by side like this double sun effect sometimes is. Kaller thinks that it could be a thick patch of atmosphere moving in front of the sun. There's even a historical reference to this in a book called Light and Color in the Outdoors by Flemish astronomer Marcel Miniart. He describes double sun phenomena in such detail that it almost matches the modern sightings. He wrote, so many other instances have been reported that there is no longer any doubt about observations of sun and mock suns being at exactly the same altitude. But even with all this, experts still aren't sure what exactly causes this effect. Grant Perry, an atmospheric scientist, said, this is not a common optical phenomenon that we're seeing here. It's definitely one of those effects that leaves you wondering, could we be seeing something more than just an optical illusion? Imagine for a minute, if you will, that you've just died.
I will tell you what it's not. It's definitely not two suns at the exact same altitude. Because if I'm not mistaken, would that not destroy the entire galaxy?
In a freak accident, suddenly you open your eyes and an entity is standing over you explaining that you're dead, but has given you the opportunity to travel back in time to a universe running parallel to your own in order to save yourself from dying. Of course, what I've just outlined here is complete fantasy, but many people have watched this video here and conjured up similar ideas and stories. In this CCTV footage, we see two men walking down the street at night. Two men who look pretty similar, mind you, both wearing dark clothing, both around the same height, same male pattern.
If you know what, I'm telling you right now, if he says male pattern baldness, I'm probably going to end the video. What? You can't even tell if this is a man. Look at how grainy this is. First of all, you can't tell if he's bald. And you definitely can't tell that they're the same height.
Baldness. Now the man trailing behind catches up to the dude in front and taps him on the shoulder just as a car passes, and then out of nowhere this metal object swings out just in time for the guy to jump out of the way. If he hadn't received that warning tap on the shoulder, the thing would have plowed right into him. Now there's a lot to unpack with this video. First of all, and what most people point out immediately about this video, is the fact that the guy who gives the warning tap seems to know what's about to happen. He doesn't look back and react like, oh God, we're about to be hit, I better warn this guy. No, he doesn't even seem concerned with his own safety at all. He just is always looking forward, taps the guy, totally calm, almost as if he's experienced this before. He also doesn't stick around, doesn't look at the guy directly, just taps him and then moves on, almost like he doesn't want to be seen. But why wouldn't he want the other guy to see his face? Why the hurry to get away? Well, the fun theory, of course, that started to spread online is that the dude who gave the tap is a time traveler, possibly even a future version of the dude who nearly got hit. Now, is this the only explanation? Well, of course not, but it's a fun idea, and I think there's enough strangeness about this video that it's not easy to chalk up to mere coincidence. Even if there's nothing extraordinary about this video, it's pretty miraculous how this man was mere inches from death. The multiverse.
All right, so here's what I'll say about this one. I think this guy right here was just an angel letting this dude know, hey, look this way. And he turned around and looked and was like, oh, he just misses it and moves on. You know, it ain't no time travel, because again, the whole theory of time travel would not work here either, because the going theory for time travel right now is nothing changes. Like if I were to leave this timeline and go to the past, and let's use the most recent, well, not most recent, but let's say for example I went back 8 months into the past. And I told the security team, hey, this guy is going to be sitting right here with this rifle, and he's going to shoot at Charlie Kirk. And they cover every angle. The dude goes up there just like normal, but they catch him this time. In this current timeline, Charlie Kirk will still have passed away. And a new timeline would start where he didn't. So the going theory with time travel right now is if you go back into the past, nothing in the present changes. It just creates a new present. So what happens after you save this person's life? Did your spirit just go into your soul, go into that body, and your souls combine since it's the same, and you keep living? Like, you know.
From death. The multiverse theory.
To explain it, that's my explanation. An angel came down, tapped him on the shoulder, kept going, and saved his life.
May actually have some observational science evidence behind it. Scientists at the European Space Agency Planck Orbital Observatory have been studying something called CMB, or cosmic microwave background radiation. This radiation is left over from the early super hot stages of our universe. Now, back in 2010, a team from the UK, Canada, and the US discovered 4 strange circular patterns in the CMB. It's not clear what these patterns mean, but one cool idea is that they could be the result of our universe bumping into another one. In 2015, another scientist at the European Space Agency, Rand Ramchari, made a similar discovery. He took a model of the CMB and removed everything we know, like stars, gas, and dust, and expected the image to be pretty much blank. But when he did that, it wasn't blank at all. Chari found areas of the sky that were 4,500 times brighter than they should have been. His theory, those light patches could be imprints from a collision between our universe and another one. Let's talk about one of the most talked about photographs of all time, at least when it comes to the strange and unexplained. In 1941, a photo was snapped at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia. At first glance, this looks like your typical historical photo. It's black and white. People are dressed in 40s clothes, old school cameras, all that stuff. But wait, there's one guy in the photo who immediately catches your eye. He's wearing more modern looking sunglasses, a printed t-shirt, and holding what looks like a camera that's too small for the time. People online have gone wild with the idea that this guy was a time traveler who slipped into the past wearing clothes from the future. A hipster from today somehow stuck in the middle of a 1940s photo. A pretty wild and far-fetched idea, and of course some people have tried to debunk this one, saying the sunglasses were actually a style from the 1920s. The printed t-shirt, well, on closer look, turns out it's just a sweater with a sports emblem on it. As for his camera, it was smaller than most, but portable cameras did exist back then. Boring, right? Well, sure, maybe all of that makes sense, but it doesn't stop people from wondering. Because the guy...
You can't do that. You can't do that. If they have explained it with evidence, you can't just say, okay, fine. That's what it actually is. But let's imagine it's not. No, you can't do that. So that's already explained. All right, next one.
And that's not the only supposed time traveler captured on camera. There's also the story of Chaplin's time traveler. Take a look at this video here and see if you can spot anything odd, aside from the zebra statue. Yeah, see the woman walking in the background? Looks like she's holding something to her ear, right? Almost like a cell phone. Now, it's easy to look past this. I mean, cell phones are so common now that they almost seem like extensions of our bodies. But yeah, people didn't have cell phones back in the 1920s. In case you didn't know. Back in October of 2010, a filmmaker named George Clark uploaded a clip to YouTube titled Chaplin's Time Traveler. In the video, he's analyzing a bonus feature from the 1928 Charlie Chaplin movie, The Circus. The clip shows footage from the movie's Los Angeles premiere, and if you look closely, there's that woman walking by holding what appears to be a strange device to her ear. Clark thought she was talking into a mobile phone, something that definitely wouldn't have existed in 1928. So it got people talking. Was this footage of a time traveler? Had this woman slipped into an alternate timeline from the future? Well, it's probably exactly what happened, but some people have some other more out there ideas. Nicholas Jackson, for example, an associate editor at The Atlantic, pointed out that the woman could have just been using a portable hearing aid. This was a very new piece of technology at the time, so it wasn't common to see, but it is possible. But, I mean, isn't time travel, or the idea that this was a woman crossed over from another reality, more plausible to you than an old-timey hearing aid?
Why would it be?
Well, we're finally here. I've done videos on the channel before talking about the Mandela effect without ever directly discussing
Well, the Mandela effect is another rabbit hole that is fun to go down.
Of the most famous of all time, the Darth Vader Luke I am your father line. While considering James Earl Jones just recently passed away, and the title of the video being Parallel Universes Captured on Camera, I thought I'd give my 2 cents on this one. According to huge swaths of the population, the version of Star Wars we watch now is not the one we remember, and I'm not talking about all the George Lucas edits. This goes deeper, almost like the version we watched when we were young was from some alternate universe, or we've all slipped into an alternate universe ourselves. At least those of us that remember the line being Luke, I am your father, and not just no, I am your father. Considering this is one of the most famous movie moments in history, it really is strange how often people would get this wrong. Every Vader impression at recess began with Luke. Parodies would get the line wrong. One that sticks out to me is in Toy Story 2 with Zurg's line, no, Buzz, I am your father. So what's going on here? Are a bunch of us simply misremembering the line, or have we all really slipped into a galaxy far, far away? So this video was posted to Reddit by user Upstairs Cash 8400, and it's pretty bizarre. At first, it just looks like an empty street with a bird in the sky until you realize that that bird's not moving. Then things get even stranger when we see a mother and son both looking up at the bird, completely confused about what they're seeing. So this is not just a glitch in the video. Now, sure, they could be part of a hoax, but if they are, they do a pretty good job of acting it out. What makes this so weird is that there's nothing behind the bird. It's just open air. It's not near a building. It's not like it could be a sculpture or something. It's just hovering. No strings, nothing. Definitely a bizarre one. And
it's actually not bizarre when you research it. And like I said, I'm not saying the research that I did was factual or like the absolute truth, but from what I found out, when you see birds, like there are some birds, they do that when they're getting ready, like when they're hunting. Like some birds have the ability to position their wings in a way to where they can stay, through riding the wind current, they stay in one spot. So it's not a glitch in the matrix, and again, all the people who say, oh, there's a matrix, we're all in a computer simulation. If that's the case, why would they simulate aging, death, and pain? You know what I'm saying? If we were a computer simulation, why would you create a program that would allow you to get overweight, to age, to have your muscles deteriorate? And if it was a matrix, why are they saying, oh, there's no respawns in life? When if we are in a matrix, there are respawns in life. But that's another talk for another day. But yeah, some of them are like definitely fake. But there are some birds out there who can spread their wings in certain positions through the wind current to where they'll stay positioned in one spot. And supposedly they do that to help like with precise hunting for food and whatnot.
Finally, we have the WOW signal. This mysterious radio signal was picked up in 1977 by an Ohio State University radio telescope, lasting just 72 seconds. It got its name from astronomer Jerry R. Amon, who wrote WOW next to the data printout. The signal's frequency and intensity were unlike anything we've seen from natural sources, leading some to speculate that it could have come from extraterrestrial life, but there's another theory that it might have come from a parallel universe. Whatever created this signal could have dipped into a black hole and is now in a completely different universe. Of course, less exciting explanations like a passing comet or space debris haven't been ruled out either. While there's no definitive proof of anything, it's definitely worth checking out the recording. It's pretty spooky sounding. With all that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you. Yes.
All right, so one thing I would say about that is there are theories out there that believe that black holes are actually warp holes to other galaxies. And I watched Interstellar and I saw how they used black holes in that movie. That's an interesting theory, and I guess it can't be disproven because no one's ever been able to go into a black hole. And that's another thing too I want to mention, is to be careful what you consume on TikTok and stuff like that, right? Because as you saw in this video, the one TikTok is like, yeah, this girl got chased by a ghost running backwards all the way home. And they'll swear up and down stuff they put up there is true. Another one is the incident that happened in New York with the 8-foot tall aliens that supposedly invaded the shopping mall. You know what I'm saying? But as you saw, that was nothing but a horror short from 5 years ago that someone took one little piece off of and tried to say, hey, this lady was being chased by a ghost. No, it was just a really creative video. And you guys should really check that channel out too, because there's a lot of very good horror shorts in there. I would watch them, but for some reason the captions are not coming up. So that's the only way. I don't think they have them in English dub. So yeah. But that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you are safe in your homes with the snow. Hopefully you're not stuck somewhere. And if you're stuck somewhere, like if you're on the road having to drive back in the snow, hopefully this will, be 2 hours or so of content that, you can listen to while you're driving. Keep you up at night. Keep you up while you're driving, And if I had to say which one was my favorite, out of the ones we've seen, if I had to pick a favorite, it would be between Clap Clap and I Heard It Too. Actually, I think I Heard It Too would be my favorite out of the horror shorts that I've seen. Let me know what your favorites are. That's gonna be it for me this time, for real. And until next time, you guys know what to do. Stay blessed.